This is News 6 Tonight.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight, where we are kicking tires and lighting fires. We've got some rubber we're going to burn and some donuts. Why?
We got some Crocs that were not in sport mode.
Because this is the greatest state in the nation, and it has the best news headlines anywhere around.
You can't make this stuff up.
Nope.
And there's always, here
We're
we
not
are.
allowed to.
No, we're legally, we're bound to the truth.
And we
is
couldn't
what
make
I'm
up
saying.
better stuff than
No,
we
we
get on a
couldn't.
daily
You know,
basis.
when they
My
say
name's Matt Austin.
Truth is stranger than fiction. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy evening to join us for News 6 Tonight, where we get caught up on some of the headlines that we think and hope you will find interesting. And we've got several tonight. One is a serious story. There was a woman who was jogging on a trail in Orlando. This happened back in July, and she was attacked. And the person who did it got away. And there was surveillance video of this guy. Weeks later, months later, they caught him, or the suspect, the person they thought it was. He goes before a judge. The judge says out of her own mouth, "Your record is atrocious, and I'm setting bond for $9,500, which you know,
Which was a very
low bond because he did have an atrocious record." And she said, "If I even get an inkling that you are violating the conditions of your bond, you will be back in jail." People were just outraged because he was accused of doing something that was pretty dangerous, and there was no tracking device, so you didn't know where he was. And it got to a point where they're like, this guy should not be out on the streets because we do not know what he's
Well,
capable
there was a
of.
specific message
Yeah.
that got him in trouble, right?
Yeah, he sent a TikTok message to someone saying, "Hey, don't try to get the news media or something. Don't talk to the news media to get them to be on your side." Here's Catherine Silver with more on what happened in court today because another judge took away his freedom.
Bail revoked and now back behind bars. I'm Catherine Silver in Orange County, where a man accused of trying to rape and kill a woman on a local trail walked into this courthouse freely and then was placed back in handcuffs.
Motion is granted. Bond is revoked.
Moments after the judge's decision to send Jacoby Tillman back to jail, Tillman said he wanted to make a statement of his own.
I want them to say I didn't do it.
Tillman's defense attorneys quickly quieted the 23-year-old who is facing charges, including attempted murder and attempted sexual battery after a woman running on the Little Econ Greenway Trail says he attacked her in July. Tillman was arrested this month, given a $9,500 bond, and released with this warning.
If I get any inkling that you have violated the conditions of pretrial release, you will be arrested on a no bond warrant. You'll be put right back in jail and you will not get out.
But prosecutors say 4 days later, Tillman posted this screenshot on TikTok with a message meant for a witness in the case.
Did Mr. Tillman post that text message and then underneath it basically make a comment referencing the text message?
Yes, ma'am.
That witness told law enforcement she recognized the account and the screenshot.
This was a communication that was clearly intended to reach the person that the defendant was prohibited from contacting.
The judge says Tillman will remain in custody pending further proceedings.
I love y'all, man.
Yeah, and so a lot of people feel that this was the decision that should have been made the first time.
Right.
You
That was
know.
a low bond to begin with.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, we did a story with a woman who says the same guy attacked her while she was out.
But she didn't press
Those
charges.
charges didn't stick because she said, look, I just wanted to let this go.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have to deal with it, which a lot of victims.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't want to have to relive one of the worst days of your life. You just are glad that you got out of
And
the
it takes
situation.
years and you got to testify. in front
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
person.
So a lot of people are happy that that's been reversed and that he's behind bars until further notice.
The interesting thing about that story is he was arrested for an attempted rape. And when he was talking to the investigators, they say he told them, I wasn't trying to rape her. I was trying to kill her because I wanted to know what it was like to choke someone out. So he
and
does
he
have
still made bond.
an attempted murder charge.
Yeah.
Still got out on bond, but now he is in jail. And again, he's
he's not.
innocent
Yes, he's
until
not
proven
convicted.
guilty.
Not convicted.
So,
So,
we'll say what we
yeah.
have to say, and we'll leave it at that. Well, a carjacking gets caught on camera. This is some interesting video here. The case of a suspect. In this case, he left behind an image on the video camera also happened to leave behind one of his Crocs. You know,
The
you're
shoe, the
you're
footwear.
already making bad decisions when you leave the house in Crocs.
That's the real crime.
Nothing good is going to happen here. So a guy's in his work truck. He's waiting for his coworker. Guy walks up to his window, you know, taps on it or something,
Yeah.
says, "Hey, can you tell me where the bus stop is?" Or how about,
you
"Hey,
give me a
even
ride?"
better, just give me a ride." And the guy says no on both counts. And then he ends up getting yanked out of the truck.
Yeah, they
pushed
start
down to
fighting,
the
yeah.
ground. Yeah, there is a camera that happens to catch the whole thing. Our community correspondent, Mike Valenti, takes us through that video.
Shortly before 7:40 a.m. Monday morning, when this truck pulls into the driveway, deputies say this utility worker was waiting for his boss to get there to start a job. But instead, walking into the frame is this man, who deputies identified as 22-year-old Stefano Brutus. An arrest affidavit for Brutus. The defendant asked the worker if he knew the bus route, or if the worker could give him a ride. When the employee said no to both questions, deputies claim an argument began. Watch closely as that argument turns physical. You can hear some yelling, but it's hard to make out exactly what they're saying. Deputies say the victim fought back, but as you can see in the video, it shows the suspect was able to get into the truck and back it up before it appears he briefly changes his mind, parks it in the driveway again, gets out, and follows the employee out of frame. Deputies say Brutus pushed the victim down onto the ground, leaving him with cuts and bruises. Then we can see the suspect run back to the truck and take off. The arrest affidavit claims that Brutus then got into a crash at Edgewater and Lee Road before ditching the truck and trying to get into other vehicles.
Yeah, he didn't really think this through because he's trying to back out into a
Busy.
very busy road. He almost injures
Did
some
it.
people as he backs
Yeah.
out. But what looks like it wasn't described by Mike in that video, but to me, probably snapped some pictures
Sure,
and
he
some
did
video.
not like that.
And that's when he got back out of the car and may have attacked.
I'm just saying right now, and we always tell you, and law enforcement will tell you, if someone is that aggressive, they're trying to get your vehicle, just let them have it. And I understand it's a company car. You want,
Even all the
you-
more reason to let them have it.
but thank goodness that guy was not hurt because it could have gone sideways really fast. And as it was, he got pretty
Got some-
roughed up.
Some bruises.
Yeah,
some
yeah,
scrapes
pretty
from getting
roughed
pushed
up.
on the ground.
Yeah, but the evidence that he left behind was a Croc. Now, I don't know how he was going to run away from authorities wearing one shoe.
This is kind of like the
Much
Florida
less-
version of Cinderella. We just got to find who does
The
the,
owner.
Croc fit. Quintilla says, "I love Crocs. Definitely wouldn't recommend committing a crime in them. Not
Correct.
unless you're in sport mode. Then you
That's,
can do it.
I know, and I didn't know what sport mode was until years after people started wearing Crocs because I am not a Croc wearer. I don't judge. Who am I kidding? I do.
You do. Oh, you absolutely.
Okay,
She would
there-
judge shoes more than anything.
No, Crocs are cute at a certain size. If they get to be a
Baby
little
Crocs
baby
are
Crocs are great.
adorable.
Adults with small feet, they look great. They're really cute. Lady Crocs, great. But when I see a big guy in Crocs,
No,
it just,
okay.
you know.
If you put socks with your Crocs,
let's not go there. This is a different.
you
It's turned
should
into something
probably
else.
Be thrown in jail for at least a night or
A
two.
fashion crime. Okay, we're going to move on to another story. We'll have more time for Crocs in another show.
Sure.
Probably not. All right.
By the way, anywhere, which is not inaccurate, but
technically
the
true.
tires squealing
Yes.
is probably.
Well, one of our correspondents got an email, which we love getting from you guys. You send us your problems and we go out and try and figure out what's going on. They were saying that cars every single night just going up and down their street, making all this noise. And when you wake up in the morning, you can see the tire marks on your street. And one of the problems is it's near a school. Our correspondent for West Orange County, Tylisa Hampton, has more on that.
It's tire tracks you expect to see at a racetrack, but instead it's in the middle of a neighborhood. I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton. I spoke with several homeowners who say it's not only a nuisance, but it's a concern that's growing.
Treating neighborhood roads like they're on a set of a movie.
It's just wild, but I hear there's like street racing out here all the time.
How many cars are y'all seeing doing this?
Almost every single night, we had people speeding by, going 60, 70 miles per hour on the road. I would say every other night, there's people doing donuts in the middle of the road.
For multiple homeowners along Tanett Boulevard in Windermere, reckless drivers are becoming more than just a simple nightmare, but a danger.
What do you think about this? The fact that there's tire tracks right here by a middle school.
Yeah, so it happens often. So usually they'll go fast, they'll do a donut right here, they'll spin out, and then they'll gun it the opposite direction.
Across Orlando, we've covered street racing multiple times. It was just in July where a driver was arrested for shooting fireworks from a car while doing donuts. These homeowners hope to see more of a crackdown for their neighborhood.
More police presence would be nice, and of course, more speed bumps.
Yeah, that is very scary. It's annoying when you think you're trying to just be in your home and you hear this going on every single night, and it's becoming more and more frequent. But the danger is people walk their dogs, their kids are out there playing, and when you talk about being near a middle school, that's really just a bad recipe.
Yeah.
And it's not going to end well.
And
So
you can get a misdemeanor for that these days.
and you should. And I forgot about the one with the fireworks in the car. That was insane. People just think it's cute to do that because probably I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's not their neighborhood they're doing it in.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely.
it's not
Yeah.
their neighborhood, so they don't care that. And that messes up the street, but it also just takes away your peace and your peace of mind in your community
There's a
too.
baby in that house. You wake that baby up,
You're
coming out.
it's going to be
Coming out.
it's going to be a different kind of
It's
story.
happening. All right, let's
Yeah.
take a quick break. We will be right back with much more. In fact, and more donuts. We have
If you can
more
believe that,
donuts in the
yeah,
show,
not
and
the edible
kind
kinds.
you eat. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, and he got the latest from the sheriff just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from. All right, here are some things you like on the golf course. You like birdies,
Mm-hmm.
you like eagles,
Yeah.
maybe a few brewskis. You do not like donuts on the golf course.
Not the kind we're talking about.
Apparently, 3 o'clock in the morning, someone watched a truck drive onto this golf course in New Smyrna Beach and start spinning out. It looked like it was on the green. You couldn't really tell. $160,000 worth of damage.
It makes you so angry because even if you're not a golfer, you can appreciate the care they take
Yeah.
and how they manicure it and get it just perfect. And, people use it, right? So for somebody to just come out there and do donuts on it without a care.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Mhm.
Your community correspondent, Angie Casada, takes a look at the aftermath of all this.
You could still see the tire marks going straight across here on this putting surface. And police say whoever drove out here in the middle of the night didn't just leave a mess, they left behind more than $160,000 in damage. New Smyrna Beach officers were called out early Sunday after the general manager, Ben Herring, arrived to find deep tire marks and torn up turf on the second green. The club estimates about 7,000 square feet was damaged, and that repairs could cost more than $160,000 and take weeks.
Almost immediately we got to work and we aerified the hole, we top dressed it, fertilized it, and it looks like we're gonna come off this thing better than we ever have.
A witness reported seeing a vehicle on the course doing donuts around 3:30 in the morning, but as you can see in this video, they could not get a tag number or description in the dark.
One of our members that lives right on hole number 2 gave us video footage of that vehicle doing the donuts on hole number 2.
Detectives are reviewing surveillance video and working with course management to identify those responsible. They're also asking neighbors with cameras to check for any overnight footage and email tips to pdtips@cityofnsb.com.
So not only is that reckless, it's also a little dangerous. When I was a youngster in high school, I had this friend. His parents bought him a brand new Montero Sport. You remember those things?
No, I
It was
don't.
an SUV, and they were good looking. We were all a little
Montero
jealous
Sport.
that this
I gotta
kid got a
Google it.
Montero Sport, new. So
Mhm.
at a party one night, he
Oh,
decided
boy.
it'd be a good idea to do some donuts,
Mm.
and he flipped that brand new SUV. And while we wanted to feel bad for him, we also were like, "That's what you get, buddy."
Oh,
So
wow.
don't go.
So you guys aren't good friends.
It might
or
have been a
not good
Montero
friends.
Sport out there. I have no idea, but
They make sense anymore. Well, whoever did that, I hope that there's some way that they can enhance it. They have such good technology, so hopefully they can enhance that video. I know it's dark, dark out there, but maybe some more neighbors got some
maybe as they were
doorbell
coming in, somebody
cam,
else could have caught him too.
something, because that is just, and it's not a small chunk of change to get that
You have
repaired.
to shut down the whole golf course.
Yeah, it's just
it's
terrible.
your second hole on your course. It's not like you can just usher
Yeah.
people around.
Anyway, so that one got us going. We reported that last night, but we're just seeing all that video today, which is the new part of it. All right, there was an inmate in a maximum security prison in Osceola County who tunneled his way to freedom. Oh, wait a minute.
We're gonna go.
James,
To,
yeah, James, I saw the look on
Yeah.
our director's face, and I know something is up.
very
So you know what? We're going to go to weather right now
Let's
because I
do
think
that.
that's the next thing we
but
should
that
do.
was a tease.
That's a
for what's
great
coming up a
tease.
little
It
bit
is
later.
coming up a little bit later on.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas.
He's got a lot to talk about because he's been talking
He's
about.
ready for us. He's digging under.
No.
the-
I was trying to play it off as I was tunneling to freedom, but it didn't look like that because you said coming up.
Do you have a
tunneling.
toilet in the Digital Weather Center?
We talked about kind of doing
A
Hit My
layer
Weather Center
yesterday.
Could come in
yesterday.
handy for the
That
hurricane.
wasn't it, Jonathan. I thank you
know
for
what?
being ready.
No, I'm ready to go. I'm enjoying your show as always.
Yeah. But you've been talking about this thing for a week now. Now it's Tropical Storm Melissa.
Yeah,
And
it's
you've
here.
been talking about it for a while. It's here, and we're going to continue to talk about it for a while.
Probably till about like at least the 29th, 30th, 31st. Now, just because we're talking about it does not mean it's coming here. I think the
Of course.
biggest impact to Florida is if you have a Caribbean cruise booked to maybe Jamaica or something. That's where we're going to have the biggest issues. And Bahamas also going to be watching out for this, Turks and Caicos, that area. But here is Melissa. She's struggling tonight. Now, that's always a good thing. We don't like when these things get strong, obviously. We would actually like it to get a little stronger because it'll help it to stay away from land and maybe peter itself out. But you see these these distinct kind of flare-ups of the pink. We have one to the right, one to the left. We always talk about tropical systems like to be like pancakes. They like to be nice vertically stacked. They have a low-level center, a mid-level center, and an upper-level center. And if your pancakes are falling off your plate, you're not really going to enjoy your pancakes. They're going to be on the floor. Same deal here. There's some wind shear impacting Melissa. So its low-level center is kind of where that burst was. Its mid-level center is back here with this cluster of thunderstorms. So you can't really tell on this kind of satellite, but now we've lost daylight. So we don't have the high resolution visible. So I'm kind of rambling on right now, but
No,
it's
where would you
tilted.
say Sorry, Jonathan, if there were an eye, I know there's not an eye right now, and that's always the hard. Is she
Yes.
organized enough where you could tell where you think it would be located, or is it just too much of a mess right now?
It would be, it's kind of, watch the little curl. It's probably right here on that, on just to the left of where you see that bright pink turn to yellow.
Oh, I
and blue.
saw it pop up. For
It's kind of, there's like a little curl. Some of those low level clouds go
Yep.
underneath. So it's going to try to form its new kind. It's almost like a snail. Like it's like shedding its first kind of, or hermit crab, I guess. Snails shed their shells.
Yeah, hermit crabs get a new shell.
Hermit
That
crabs
is a good
do.
analogy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like leaving that one behind now. It's like, all right, I'm going to try this again because I just got beat up by all this wind shear today, and it should be impacted by shear tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like. Now, a weaker storm is going to allow it to kind of sneak under the steering flow and get further to the west. So that is why we're talking about food tonight: pancakes and now spaghetti.
Hermit crabs, spaghetti.
Escargot.
Oh,
And hermit
yeah.
crabs.
Mm.
We are going all through
That
the
does look
wonders
like
of nature
spaghetti.
here. All these lines here, the ones that are further west towards Cuba, are weaker initially. I'm trying to get my telestrator to work and turn on. It's not going to play ball with me. But these guys, so I'm personally thinking it's going to end up kind of meandering out toward Jamaica, central Cuba, and then kind of lifting up to the northeast. Either way, I think Florida's protected unless something weird happens and the system that's going to push it out maybe grabs it and pulls it back in. But that is like
Yeah.
Powerball
I like
chance.
to see with all of those different options, all of those models, zero of them come into.
That's the only thing they agree on.
That's right. Like, this is the last one I think that we're going to be talking about. And I mean, we need a break. We need a break.
Yeah.
Knocking on some
Let's
wood,
do it.
buddy. But you think that's the last one of the hurricane season?
I think so. There's some rumblings, maybe something else down there in November, in the Western Caribbean. But I mean, as we get deeper into the calendar, the fronts are hot and heavy, and I mean that's going to suppress everything down there. So that would be something to stay in the Caribbean.
Hot and heavy fronts, cold and heavy fronts.
I don't want any of it. I don't
All
want
right,
any of it.
Jonathan Kagas, you're the
We'll
man.
see you
Thank
at
you.
I'm
nine
with
Check out
you.
his great show.
Thanks,
at
Jonathan.
9:30. You can ask him questions and everything. It's a very interactive show. It's good stuff.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, the story Ginger was teasing you with.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure. James. Yes.
We're good. The toilet burrower. After the break. Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also, good looking. Because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
Hey, welcome back. Normally, we try to leave you with something light and fluffy, like, puppies being rescued, turtles being released back out into the ocean. Not tonight. You're getting some guy who escaped from a maximum security prison in Osceola County. This happened like more than 10 years ago. He removed the toilet and burrowed his way through and escaped. And there was a massive.
That's called earning it.
Oh my gosh. It's like out of Shawshank Redemption, right? That's
Absolutely,
exactly
yeah.
what it
Poster,
reminded
yeah.
me of. Well, this guy, they caught him. He's back in prison, but he's always maintained his innocence. And there was someone who came forward recently and said, oh, yeah, I remember. He really didn't do it. So the gentleman who escaped.
Shockingly, that is not a good legal
The
argument.
gentleman who escaped went before a judge today. Your community correspondent, Laverne McGee, has the story.
I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, at the Osceola County Courthouse, where an inmate who's been in jail for 15 years says he wants out because there's new evidence.
I knew that wasn't the man that did it yet.
Why didn't you come forward before 2022?
Because I was afraid of the police. I was afraid of what would happen. I mean, I was still young at that time. I didn't have the knowledge that I have now.
Jonathan McAllister is the witness who says he lied back in 2008, saying that Michael Rigby tried to rob a woman at a CVS in Kissimmee. Rigby went to jail but eventually escaped through the pipes of a toilet he broke open. He was eventually found and has now served 15 years of his 22-year sentence. McAllister says he decided to come forward after reading some of a book that Rigby wrote about what happened to him.
For the greater part of the last decade and a half, I was convinced that McAllister was accusing me, and I didn't have the slightest inclination that he would recant the way how he did.
The judge, however, did not.
Yeah. Okay. So
The judge wasn't buying it.
No, she wasn't buying it. But his family, Rigsby's family, wants him to file another appeal. But I just want to say, if you're a friend out there and you know your friend didn't commit a crime and you're the witness, please come forward more than 10 years after it's happened. Come forward sooner.
Here's what I'm going to say. She did it. Absolutely.
It's such an interesting story. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it
We'll
is.
continue to follow it.
All right. We will check in with you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Thanks for watching News 6 Tonight.
Check us out at 10 if you have time. Bye.